Hey, buddy.
Hi.
What a beautiful assist by DeBrusque.
Oh, great pass. Unfortunately, you need to look at the color of jersey, not just the color of hockey pants. Holy crap. What
Oh,
a...
that was
You know
brutal.
what? I am still... It's going to take a lot to sell me on DeBrusque. I wasn't a fan of that signing in the offseason. I was not a fan of him on the Bruins. One of the biggest knocks on him is his give a shit factor is yet to be shown at a professional level.
Mm-hmm.
I know earlier this year it really annoyed me when he was out at the Taylor Swift concert the night before a big hockey game
Mm-hmm.
and posting about it on social media. These guys make so much money. They do not need to be doing that the night before a hockey game. They can do that in the summer when Taylor Swift is touring wherever in the world. They have enough money to get on a private jet, go wherever the hell they want, and have their fun. This is their job. It's time to get serious and focus up. And he is one of those players that has not done that at all down this stretch. He has been so streaky his entire career, and he strikes me as a Nepo NHLer because daddy was an NHLer that he thinks he deserves to be an NHLer. Yes, he has a ton of talent, don't get me wrong, but there is so much more he is capable of if he just gave a little bit more of an effort out there.
It seems like sometimes he shows that speed and he shows that grit that we've heard so much about. But then at the same time, there's entire weeks where he looks like he's been at the Taylor Swift show the night before on a regular basis. And that's just, yeah, I think the best way you described it, and I completely agree with it, it's that give a shit factor. And when you make a pass like that, it looks lackadaisical. It looks like he didn't care. And all of a sudden, puck comes all the way back. And the Canucks had actually been playing a decent period. And then, boom, Jake DeBrusque makes a stupid pass at center ice and gives a breakaway to the other team.
Yeah, you literally handcuffed his entire team with that turnover. He has control of the puck. Just keep skating with it. Who are you looking for? If you're going to do anything, dump it in over the red line. There is no reason to even make that pass. And in games like this, you need to be focused. You cannot make those mistakes in a game 7 must-win game, according to our coach. It's just, yeah, it's going to take a lot for me to be sold on DeBrusque. He's going to have to show me a lot more for me to be okay with that. I was never okay with that signing. There was a lot of other free agent wingers that have way more. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Steven Stamkos and Jonathan Marchessault both signed for less money than him. Come on. What are we doing?
When you put it like that, it makes it sound even worse. But the other thing that kind of I feel like with DeBrusque, it's almost like him and Besser are just too similar, right? Because Besser's kind of been the same way this year, where he looks lackadaisical, he looks slow, and DeBrusque, who's supposed to be a fast guy. But you can't have two of those guys on the team, right? You don't need two of them.
Exactly.
You can maybe have one. You can have your one Phil Kessel, and that's what we're gonna name him. We have two Phil Kessels. We only need one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just starting to get to the point where it's like, why? Can we not just actually show that we care? And it's also the defensive play of him and Besser too. When they're together, it's not, in our end, it is not good 5-on-5. I think Besser is like a career low for plus minus this year. It's just really frustrating that a referee's reaction to a goalie falling when there's no penalty there whatsoever. If there's any penalty, it's against Bluger for being interfered with when he's trying to get body position. Not once does Bluger set foot in the blue paint. Decord actually comes out of the crease when he's contacted and then falls back, but because the ref sees it out of the corner of his eye, he makes a reactionary call because, we've had 2 against the Canucks. We better look for one here against the boys in blue so we can even it up. And then it just killed all the momentum. We get the kill off, and then DeBrusque makes that boneheaded play. And it's like, now we're behind and fighting back again and trying to come back in a must-win game. And, it's just moments like this that even though it's been a difficult season, it's moments like that that just are shooting yourself in the foot at this point.
Is there an up in that period for the Canucks?
There was a lot of ups. Like the offense 5-on-5 was looking really good. Like there was some really good moments, and it looked like we were getting goalied a bit. A huge save by Dackard, shorthanded there on Drew O'Connor, and a couple other really close plays. The power play was moving the puck really well in the first unit there. I thought they were gonna get one by there. Lekkerimäki with a couple of nice shots, but just missing the net, trying to be a little too perfect. But yeah, and then just one boneheaded play ends up in the back of the net, and now you're up against it.
Yeah, couple ups, and I mean, just generally, the Canucks didn't look bad in that period until and that's the story of this whole Canucks season. They play well, and there's one bonehead move, and it's in the back of the net. Like there's no room for error in this league, and you make one bad play, and all of a sudden, boom, you're down 1-0.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing to make mistakes, but it's the timing of their mistakes that has been so costly.
So I'm the guy who I'm still trying not to look ahead to next season, but we gotta be realistic. So the next point is waiver exemption. So obviously the Canucks, you've seen it all year long, up and down between the AHL and the NHL. It's going to be harder next year because a lot of our guys, there's now 7 players that are going to be waiver exempt. And so we'll bring that up. This is from Canucks Army, which you can check out if you want. So Ratu, Baines, Carlson, and Shilovs, the fringe NHLers, all 4 of these guys are no longer going to be waiver exempt. So that means if they get called up, they have to go through the waivers. Which one of these 4 guys do you think hurts the Canucks most for having not having their waiver exemption anymore?
If you asked me at the beginning of the year, I would have said Shilovs. But given the years that Tolopilo and also Ty Young have shown in the AHL, I think we're okay in that department, especially considering we should have Yuri Patera back when he returns from the multiverse.
Yeah.
Wherever he is in the universe. So yeah, the Shilovs one, hard to say. I mean, he may end up becoming a trade chip, or he just ends up being a career AHLer. They could also exercise emergency conditions when needed, which they did with a couple of guys this year. I believe they did it with Phil DiGiuseppe once. But now that he's cleared waivers, I think they can call him up for a maximum of 10 games or something.
Do you feel like Ratu and Carlson are just going to be mainstays on the Canucks roster next year?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going next. I think Ratu and Carlson are ready to make that jump and make a push. Carlson may end up being that like extra forward on the team next year, but I feel like he's made enough improvement to his game and knowing his ability as that like net front guy would be a very beneficial fourth line, third line kind of fill-in guy. Depending on how the free agency goes for us. Ratu for sure has shown that he needs to be up here with the big club, and a lot of that could hinge on the health of Philip Hedl and how he ends up recovering in the offseason from his 5th career concussion. Obviously, we hope for the best health for him first and foremost, but as a Canucks fan, you don't really want to lose that 2C that you picked up in a trade. But for now, the way Ratu has developed this season under Malhotra and company in Abbotsford, he really looks like he's ready to be a top 6 forward every day. So originally in his draft year, he was supposed to be the number 1 draft pick, but then severely regressed after Christmas. And so if he can maybe now drive that confidence again, he's looked really good this latest call up. So I have a lot of confidence in him having a good off-season training and then a good training camp, and then securing a spot on this team next year. So I'm not so super worried about his waivers. And then Baines there, I just think I think his time has come, where he hasn't really developed enough to be a full-time NHLer. He just the other prospects are developing faster and kind of leapfrogging him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the feel-good Surrey kid, local boy, but I just think he's probably destined for a career in the AHL. And maybe with a really, really good training camp and preseason gets on as a grinder, but I just don't see it happening for him, unfortunately. From what I've seen this year, he is playing really well and doing great at the AHL level, but it just has never translated up. And so I just don't know if he's going to be able to find that extra gear, given all the other prospects that we have in the system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then there's another three, right? You got Hirose, Glover, and McWard, and you talked a little bit about McWard last stream about how you think he might make a jump. And then, I mean, Ty Glover, right? Like, I don't think he's getting all the way up to the NHL essentially right now. If everyone's healthy, the Canucks have 6 goaltenders between the AHL and the NHL, which is way too many. So yeah, you might end up seeing a trade there. But between those three guys, you think McWard's probably the most likely to maybe be that 7th defenseman or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. He'd probably be the highest risk to be picked up through a waiver move, I think. He's shown the most growth out of that kind of group. Well, Ty Glover has had a great season too, but out of that group, Akita Hirose has, I wouldn't say he's regressed, but he hasn't really done anything to earn a call up or anything like that. He's just kind of doing what he needs to do to be a professional hockey player, but not an NHL hockey player.
Now, not to get your blood boiling, but talking on Lekkerimäki the other day, they're asking about how he said he wanted to get him more minutes, and then Tocchet's response, after a very long-winded response, says, "I think you guys in the past were bitching about the franchise putting guys in too quickly. We're not doing that." So what is it, Tocchet?
Yeah, and that's where I'm just kind of that interview with Tocchet yesterday felt like a 1 foot out the door coach. Just a lot of things said that he just was a bit abrasive, kind of arrogant. The way he kind of talked about how Petey didn't really skate very hard the couple times, and it's like, well, the guy's hurt. And so it's just the attitude towards like some guys are allowed to be hurt and need to take time off. Other guys shouldn't and should be playing through injuries and things like that. It's the dinosaur hockey mentality a bit where times have changed and doctors don't want guys playing through certain things, and those players are taking the advice of the doctors. I mean, we saw it with the Jack Eichel saga. I mean, the guy wanted to get neck surgery because the doctor said it would help him and help him be pain free and be able to play hockey better. And Buffalo says no and trades him to Vegas. Vegas says go ahead, and look at him. He's been their best player pretty much ever since. So it's little things like that where it's like, okay, maybe if the player's telling you his knee is busted up and giving him fits or a wrist is acting up, maybe we need to listen to them a little more. So and Tocchet is just, I've talked about how he's been hypocritical about the young guys and how he comes out after wins and praises everything and takes all the credit, and then the system is great and all that, and then when we lose, he blames it all on the players. So it's you know what? There's a lot of people that are worried about the Quinn Hughes issue, and you know what? Quinn's gonna have more than just Tocchet as a coach over his career. Like, let's be clear, Tocchet isn't gonna be here for the rest of Quinn's career. So, as far as I'm concerned, there needs to be some sort of conversation early with Quinn about what the process is moving forward. But I really don't think Tocchet's the answer.
Well, the problem is they have a 1-year option on Tocchet, and it sounds like they're going to be using that. So regardless of whether or not he signs a new contract, the likelihood is that Rick Tocchet will be here next year, and maybe maybe he will be the scapegoat, but you never know. If things don't go well to start the next year, then they terminate him in his option year and then bring Manny Malhotra up. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I think he'll have a very short leash next year.
Yeah. New deal for the Rogers Broadcast Corporation, whatever there's called. I guess the good news we heard out of that, Dustin, is that sounds like there might be some more regional games available, so there will be less blackouts. Do you think this is a good thing for hockey, just to kind of stay with the same company, or were you hoping to see a little bit more of other people getting their hands in the pot?
I was hoping to see a little bit more, but obviously Rogers has the infrastructure, so to speak, built to do it. So it would be less of a growing pains. Changing over, Amazon will probably get more games to broadcast next year. Like, those little, there's still like the French language game contracts, and there's a lot of other subcontracts in Canada left to pick up. So, Amazon will probably get on board with a few more games next year and maybe expand their broadcast team and work towards getting bigger and bigger for the next time. But I mean, it's 12 years from now, so get used to Sportsnet Plus and NHL on Rogers.
The joke I saw was like, we're just only going to be broadcasting in 480p now, just so that you don't ever expect it to be higher than that.
No, your location cannot be found.
Yeah.
Is the good one, right? Like your geolocation could not be confirmed, so you're blackout. You're blacked out.
I didn't get a chance to talk about the Abbey Canucks. You weren't sure if you're going to be making the post game show. How are you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be making the post-game show, but we will update both Abbey Canucks games after the next game on Friday.
Saturday, 1 p.m. It's an early one again.
Saturday, 1 p.m., the afternoon game, yeah.
Cool. Awesome, Dustin.
Well, I will be there.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for all the info. And then right before you go, KJ just used their membership message to say Rusty and Dusty is the best.
Oh, thank you. We do appreciate all you guys in chat, and I've had a great time so far this season. I know we got a few games left here, and it's going to be a fun stretch. So,
well, Dustin, we'll talk to you on Saturday then, brother.
Sounds good.
Nothing is perfect.